Friends, seekers, fellow travelers on this incredible journey called life, welcome to Escape the Chaos, Master the Power of Now. I am so glad you're here, because within these pages lies a simple yet profound truth, a key that can unlock you from the prison of your thoughts and bring you into a world of peace, joy, and boundless potential. For years, I have traveled the world, sharing insights gathered from ancient wisdom traditions and modern understanding of our mind and psychology. And through it all, one message has resonated above all others. The key to happiness is right here, right now. Not in the past, filled with regrets, or in the future, filled with anxieties of what-ifs, but in the present moment. This book is about reclaiming your life. It's about learning to quiet the constant chatter in your head, the endless stream of thoughts that pull you away from the beauty and richness of the present. It's about understanding that the source of your suffering isn't external circumstances, but your relationship with those circumstances. Have you ever felt like you are running on a hamster wheel, constantly chasing something just out of reach? That's the mind in overdrive, constantly analyzing, judging, and projecting. But what if I told you there's a way to step off that wheel? What if you could find stillness and peace, even amidst the chaos of everyday life? Escape the Chaos is your practical guide to that stillness. It's not about escaping life. It's about escaping the noise that prevents you from fully experiencing it. It's about learning to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, to accept what is, and to live each moment with intention and awareness. Inside, you'll find simple, practical techniques and exercises that you can begin using today to bring yourself back to the present moment. We will explore how to identify the patterns of thought that create suffering, how to disidentify with your egoic mind, and how to cultivate a deep sense of inner peace that remains unshaken by the challenges of life. As you journey through these pages, prepare to reduce anxiety and stress. Learn to quiet the racing thoughts that keep you up at night. Increase self-awareness. Understand the workings of your mind and emotions. Improve relationships. Cultivate presence and compassion in your interactions with others. Find deeper meaning and purpose. Connect with the stillness, the source of your being, and experience the richness of each moment. Unlock your potential. Free yourself from limiting beliefs and embrace your true self. This book is written in plain language so that everyone can understand the message. This is not complicated. The secret to awakening is being present. So, take a deep breath. Begin reading with an open mind and an open heart, because the journey to inner peace begins right here, right now. The introduction sets the stage for the timeless truths we're about to uncover in this scripture. Each chapter holds insights that are life-changing and deeply relevant. Subscribe now to explore these lessons and join a community dedicated to spreading wisdom. Together, let's embark on this enlightening journey. Chapter 1. The Now, Your Gateway to Freedom. Friends, brothers, and sisters, welcome. I see so much potential in each and every one of you, a light waiting to be ignited. For too long, we've lived in darkness, chained by the thoughts that swirl within our heads. But freedom is within reach, right here, right now. This freedom, this inner peace, isn't something you need to find. It's already within you. Think of it like a radio signal. The signal is always broadcasting, but our minds are like a poorly tuned radio, filled with static and interference, unable to clearly receive the message of peace. That static? It's the constant chatter of our minds, the endless rehashing of the past, and the anxious anticipation of the future. How often do you find yourself truly here, in this moment? Be honest. Are you listening to my words while simultaneously thinking about what you'll have for dinner? Or perhaps replaying a conversation from yesterday, wishing you'd said something different? That, my friends, is precisely what steals your joy. That's the prison we unknowingly build for ourselves. We are so good at escaping. We spend our time in the past feeling regrets or feeling how we have been wronged. We either blame others or ourselves for the things that happened. When we are not in the past, we escape to the future, where we make predictions, prepare, and plan, constantly feeling anxious and stressed that we are not well prepared for the upcoming days. Think about the last time you were truly stressed. Was that stress directly related to something happening right now? Or was it rooted in a memory of a past event or an imagined future scenario? If you think clearly, you will see the root cause of the stress is either something that you cannot control or something that is a prediction, not reality. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. Are you truly suffering because of the traffic? Or is it because you're thinking about being late for the meeting, what your boss will say, how it will affect your promotion? These thoughts, not the traffic itself, are the true source of your suffering. The traffic is simply a fact. Your reaction to it is the problem. The key, the gate to your inner freedom, lies in the unwavering focus on the present moment. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but now. When you fully embrace the now, you begin to silence the mental chatter, to quiet the static. In that silence, you will discover a profound peace, a stillness that resides deep within you. This isn't about ignoring the past or disregarding the future. It's about understanding their place. The past can offer lessons, the future can inspire goals, but neither should be allowed to dictate your present experience. We're here to learn from past experiences, not to feel sorrow and sadness. We are to prepare for future, not to fear and create anxiety. The now is all there is. Chapter 2, The Tyranny of the Thinking Mind. Friends, beloved souls, have you ever felt like a hamster on a wheel, furiously running but going nowhere? That relentless wheel is often our own mind, relentlessly churning out thoughts, worries, and judgments. Welcome to the tyranny of the thinking mind. The source of this mental noise is the ego. The ego isn't some evil force. It's simply the part of us that wants to feel important, safe, and in control. It crafts a story about who we are, based on our past experiences, beliefs, and societal expectations. The problem arises when we believe this made-up story is the absolute truth about ourselves. We start identifying entirely with our thoughts, believing I am my thoughts. Now imagine you're stuck in traffic. The ego jumps in. This is unfair. I'm going to be late. Everyone else is moving but me. Boom. Anger, frustration, stress, all based on thoughts. If you could simply observe the traffic without letting your mind run wild, you might just experience a moment of peace. Your thoughts created your suffering. Excessive thinking strengthens the ego. It becomes the default program, constantly narrating our lives, judging everything, and fearing the unknown. This perpetuates negative emotions because the ego thrives on drama. It needs something to fight against, something to prove. This creates anxiety, depression, and a general sense of unease. So, how do we escape this mental prison? The first step, observe. Become a silent witness to your thoughts. Think of it like watching clouds drift across the sky. You see them, but you don't try to hold on to them, judge them, or identify with them. Similarly, when a thought arises, I'm not good enough, this will never work, simply acknowledge it without reaction. Ah, that's a thought, not a fact, not me. This practice of observing thoughts without judgment is vital. It creates space between you and your mind. It reminds you that you are the awareness behind the thoughts, not the thoughts themselves. This is the first step toward reclaiming your power and escaping the tyranny of the thinking mind. Chapter 3. Breaking Free from Mental Chatter. Friends, brothers and sisters on the path, welcome. In the last chapter, we understood the relentless nature of the thinking mind, that incessant chatter that fills our days. Here, we'll learn how to silence that noise, creating a space of peace within. Imagine your mind is a radio, constantly tuned to a station broadcasting your every thought, worry, and judgment. This is the mental chatter. It's not you. It's just a program playing. The problem is, most of us are convinced we are the radio station. How do we change the station? How do we find the off button? The answer isn't to fight the thoughts. That's like trying to swat away flies. They just keep coming back. Instead, we create distance between ourselves and our thinking. This, my friends, is where the magic of mindfulness and meditation comes in. Mindfulness is simply paying attention to the present moment without judgment. Meditation is one of the pathways to achieve it. Let's start with a simple exercise, the breath awareness meditation. 1. Find a quiet space. Sit comfortably, either on a chair or the floor. 2. Close your eyes gently. 3. Focus on your breath. Notice the sensation of the air entering and leaving your nostrils or the rise and fall of your abdomen. 4. As thoughts arise, don't judge them. Simply acknowledge them. Oh, that's a thought about what to have for dinner. And then gently guide your attention back to your breath. 5. Start with 5 minutes. Gradually increase the duration as you become more comfortable. Think of your breath as an anchor. Every time your mind drifts away on the sea of thoughts, the breath brings you back to the safe harbor of the present. Another powerful tool is body scan meditation. This involves systematically bringing awareness to different parts of your body, noticing any sensations without judgment. This helps you to ground yourself in the physical present, pulling your awareness away from the mental realm. Imagine this: you're in a meeting, feeling anxious about a presentation. Instead of getting lost in the swirling thoughts of, what if I mess up? Take a moment to feel your feet on the floor. Notice the temperature of the room against your skin. Feel the chair supporting you. This simple act of grounding instantly brings you back to the now, diffusing the power of your anxious thoughts. Mindfulness isn't just for formal meditation. You can practice it anywhere, anytime. When washing dishes, focus on the sensation of the water on your hands, the smell of the soap. When walking, notice the feeling of your feet hitting the ground, the wind on your face. By consistently practicing these techniques, you'll begin to notice a space opening up between you and your thoughts. You'll realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind the thoughts, the silent observer. And in that awareness, you find peace. Chapter 4, the body, your anchor to the present. Friends, brothers, and sisters, namaste. We've talked about the mind, that relentless storyteller. But where does this story play out? Where do our feelings actually feel? In our bodies. Too often, we're so lost in our heads, we forget we even have one. Your body is your anchor. It's always here, now, feeling, sensing, breathing. It is your most direct connection to the present moment. Think of it this way: have you ever been so engrossed in a worry that you bumped your knee? The sudden pain snaps you back instantly. That's your body pulling you into the present. It's always trying to do that. We just need to listen. How do we listen? Through awareness. One powerful technique is the body scan meditation. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes, focus your attention on your toes. What do they feel like? Are they warm, cold, tingling? Just observe without judgment. Slowly move your attention up your body, your feet, ankles, calves, thighs, and so on. Acknowledge any sensations, good or bad, without getting carried away by thoughts about them. This simple practice brings you fully into your physical being, a way to practice stillness and awareness. Another incredible doorway back to the present is mindful movement. This isn't about intense workouts. It's about paying attention to the sensation of your body moving. Simple stretching is a great mindfulness exercise. Feel the stretch in your muscles. Feel your breath deepen. Notice how your posture affects your overall sense of well-being. Even walking can become a meditation. Feel your feet make contact with the ground. Feel the air on your skin. Let any thoughts drift by like clouds. This is a way to be present in motion. This is true freedom in the moment. When feelings arise, we get carried away with emotions. Learn to accept what you feel in your body. Your body experiences pain, sadness, anger, and many emotions. Acknowledge those sensations in you so you can master it and accept it. Remember, your body isn't just a vessel carrying your mind around. It's an incredible source of wisdom, grounding, and connection. Listen to it, feel it, be present in it. The gateway to the now is right here within you. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's delve into the ocean of emotions. Chapter 5, Emotions. Riding the waves of feeling emotions. We've all felt them. Joy, sorrow, anger, fear. They swell within us, sometimes unexpectedly, like waves crashing on the shore. Too often we're swept away by these waves, drowning in their intensity. We cling to them, amplify them, and let them dictate our actions. But what if I told you there was another way? What if you could learn to ride these waves instead of being submerged by them? Emotions, in their purest form, are simply energy in motion. They are signals, indicators of our inner state. The key is to understand that you are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind them, the vast, calm ocean where these waves arise. How do emotions arise? Think of it this way. A situation happens. Your boss criticizes your work. A loved one says something hurtful. You miss a train. Your mind interprets this situation, often based on past experiences and conditioned beliefs. This interpretation triggers a feeling, a physiological response. Your heart races, your stomach clenches, your face flushes. The problem is we often get stuck at the interpretation stage. We dwell on the unfairness, the insult, the inconvenience. We replay the situation in our mind, fueling the emotion and making it stronger. The power of now teaches us to break this cycle, to simply observe the emotion without judgment. Imagine you're watching a cloud pass through the sky. You don't cling to it. You don't label it good or bad. You simply observe its shape, color, and movement, knowing that it will eventually dissipate. That's how we should approach emotions. When anger arises, for example, don't immediately react. Don't indulge in thoughts of revenge or self-righteousness. Instead, simply notice the anger. Feel the heat in your chest, the tension in your muscles. Acknowledge its presence, but don't identify with it. Say to yourself, I am aware that anger is here. This simple act of observation creates space between you and the emotion. It allows you to see it for what it is, a temporary surge of energy, not a defining characteristic of who you are. Don't try to suppress the emotion. Suppression only buries it deeper, where it will fester and resurface later. Instead, allow it to be there, fully present, without resisting it. This takes practice. It's like learning to surf. You'll wipe out a few times, get tumbled by the waves, but with patience and persistence, you'll learn to find your balance, to ride the wave with grace and ease. So the next time an emotion arises within you, remember this: breathe, observe, and allow. Don't resist. Don't judge. Simply ride the wave, knowing that it too shall pass. And in that space of observation, you'll discover the peace that lies within, the serenity of the now. Let the ocean calm you. Namaste, dear friends. Welcome, and let us explore together the profound power of acceptance. Today, we journey into the heart of inner peace, acceptance. This isn't some passive resignation, but a dynamic, life-altering practice that unlocks a world of serenity. Think of a child throwing a tantrum. They are resisting what is. Perhaps they didn't get the toy they wanted. This resistance fuels their distress. Now imagine that child, eventually, accepting they won't get the toy. The tantrum subsides. The suffering lessens. This illustrates a simple truth. Resistance creates suffering. Acceptance allows for contentment. Why is this so? Because resistance is a battle against reality. It's fighting a war you can never win. The present moment is. Arguing with it is like arguing with the weather. You might not like the rain, but fighting against it only makes you wet and miserable. Acceptance doesn't mean you approve of everything that happens. It doesn't mean you shouldn't strive to improve your life or the world around you. It simply means recognizing the facts of the current moment without adding layers of judgment and resistance. For example, you lose your job. Resistance might sound like, "This is unfair. Why me? My life is ruined." This resistance fuels anxiety and despair. Acceptance, on the other hand, might sound like, "Okay, I lost my job. This is the situation. Now, what can I do from here?" This acceptance creates space for clear thinking and proactive problem solving. Acceptance is the foundation for change. You cannot effectively change something you deny. You must first acknowledge and accept what is before you can begin to shape and mold a new reality. Think of it as diagnosing an illness. You can't treat it until you accept you have it. So how do we cultivate acceptance? Start small. Notice those moments of resistance in your daily life. The traffic jam, the spilled coffee, a disagreement with a loved one. Instead of fighting the feeling of frustration, simply acknowledge it. I am feeling frustrated right now. This simple act of acknowledgement begins to dissolve the resistance. Remember, dear ones, acceptance is not about giving up. It's about liberating yourself from the prison of resistance. It's about embracing the present moment, finding peace within yourself, and empowering yourself to create a brighter future. Let acceptance be your shield against suffering and your gateway to lasting tranquility. Chapter 7: The Art of Non-Judgment. Friends, how often do we find ourselves lost in judging? Judging ourselves, judging others, judging situations? It's a constant commentary running in the background of our minds, a stream of opinions and classifications. This incessant judging, however, is a significant barrier to truly experiencing the present moment and therefore to finding inner peace. Think of your mind like a movie projector. When you judge, you're essentially adding filters, special effects, and even editing the film before it reaches the screen of the present. You're not seeing reality as it is, but as you think it should be. Non-judgment is simply this: observing without labeling. It's noticing without attaching a good or bad sticker. It's acknowledging a chair is a chair without then thinking, that's an ugly chair, or it's not as comfortable as my chair at home. The moment we add those extra thoughts, we're no longer in the present. We're lost in comparison and opinion. Why is this so important? Because judgment creates division. When we judge others, we create a separation. I am better than them because, or they are worse than me because. This division fosters negativity and keeps us trapped in a cycle of reactivity. We become defensive, insecure, and unable to truly connect with others. Judgment also prevents us from seeing the truth. Imagine you meet someone and immediately categorize them as arrogant based on their initial demeanor. That judgment becomes a filter through which you perceive everything they do. You might miss opportunities for genuine connection, overlook their kindness, or misinterpret their actions because you've already decided who they are. Perhaps the most damaging judgments are those we inflict upon ourselves. I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. I'm unlovable. These internal pronouncements become self-fulfilling prophecies, dictating our actions and limiting our potential. How do we practice non-judgment? It begins with becoming aware of our thoughts. When you notice yourself labeling or criticizing, simply acknowledge it. Say to yourself, I am judging, without judging yourself for doing so. The key is to observe the thought without getting caught up in its emotional charge. Just let it pass, like a cloud in the sky. Return to the present moment. Focus on your breath, the sensation of your feet on the ground, or the sounds around you. Practice this exercise. For a day, try to observe the world and the people around you without judgment. Notice the leaves rustling in the wind, the expressions on people's faces, the taste of your food. Simply observe. Resist the urge to comment, criticize, or compare. You'll be surprised by the clarity and peace that arises. Non-judgment is not about condoning negativity. It's about seeing reality clearly so we can respond with wisdom and compassion. It's about freeing ourselves from the filters of our minds and experiencing the profound beauty of the present moment. Chapter 8: Present Moment Awareness in Daily Life. Friends, brothers, sisters, we've talked about the power locked within this moment. Now let's unlock it together in our daily lives. Spirituality isn't just about meditation retreats. It's about transforming the mundane into the sacred. It's about realizing that enlightenment isn't some far-off destination. It is right here, right now, waiting to be noticed. How do we do this? By bringing awareness to the simplest of activities. Eating mindfully, think about your next meal. Instead of rushing, grabbing a sandwich between tasks, truly see your food. Notice the colors, the textures. Take a deep breath and smell the aroma. As you chew, pay attention to the flavors unfolding on your tongue. Feel the nourishment entering your body. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back to the sensation of eating. Even this simple act can become a powerful anchor to the present. Someone cut this chapter short. Eating mindfully is key to understand the present moment. Walking with intention. Most of the time, walking is automatic, a means to an end. But what if it became a meditation in motion? As you walk, feel your feet connecting with the ground. Notice the rise and fall of your body with each step. Feel the air against your skin. Observe the world around you. Truly see the trees, the buildings, the people, without judgment. If your mind wanders into thoughts, acknowledge them and gently redirect your focus back to the sensation of walking. Communicating with presence. Imagine you're talking to a loved one, but your mind is racing, planning your next move. Are you really there for them? True connection comes from presence. When communicating, put your phone away. Make eye contact. Truly listen, not just to the words, but to the feelings behind them. Delay your response. Resist interrupting. Be fully present with the other person. You might be surprised by the depth of connection you experience. The dishwashing zen. Even chores can become spiritual practices. Washing dishes, feel the warmth of the water, the smoothness of the soap, the act of cleaning. Let go of your frustration about the mess and embrace the present moment task. These everyday activities are opportunities. Each one is a little doorway to the now. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to stay grounded, to find peace and joy in the ordinary. Remember, friends, enlightenment isn't about escaping life. It's about fully embracing it, one present moment at a time. Chapter 9: Relationships, mirrors of the self, friends, family, lovers. Our relationships are the arenas where our deepest selves often play out their dramas. They are not merely external connections, but powerful mirrors reflecting back our inner landscape. Understanding this is key to mastering the power of now in our interactions and building truly fulfilling connections. Think about it. How often do you find yourself reacting strongly to something a loved one says or does? That reaction, that surge of emotion, where does it really come from? Often, it's not solely about their action. It's touching upon a buried wound, a forgotten belief, a lingering insecurity within you. They're simply triggering something already present. For example, imagine your partner is late for dinner. You could react with anger, feeling disrespected and unimportant. But is that anger solely about 30 minutes of tardiness? Or is it connected to a deeper fear of abandonment, a feeling of being unvalued that perhaps stems from childhood experiences? When we're caught in the tyranny of the thinking mind, constantly judging, comparing, and projecting our past onto the present, our relationships become battlegrounds. We're not listening to the other person. We're listening to the story we've created about them, about us, about the relationship. But what if we approached our relationships with the power of now? What if, instead of reacting, we paused and observed our own emotions? What if we asked ourselves, what is this really about? What is this stirring up within me? This simple act of present moment awareness can revolutionize our communication. Instead of blaming, we can communicate our needs from a place of honesty and vulnerability. Instead of judging, we can offer compassion and understanding. Think of a time you truly listened to someone, truly heard them, without interrupting, without formulating your response, without letting your own thoughts and judgments cloud your perception. Didn't that create a deeper connection? Practicing present moment awareness in relationships involves several key elements. Active listening. Be fully present when someone is speaking, focusing on their words, their body language, and their emotions. Non-judgment. Resist the urge to judge or criticize. Instead, try to understand their perspective. Empathy. Put yourself in their shoes and try to feel what they are feeling. Clear communication. Express your needs and feelings clearly and respectfully, without blaming or accusing. Forgiveness. Let go of the past and focus on the present. Holding on to grudges only harms you. Our relationships are not accidents. They are opportunities for growth, for healing, for understanding ourselves more deeply. By embracing the power of now, we can transform our relationships from sources of conflict into sources of joy, connection, and spiritual awakening. Remember, the love you seek is often the very love you need to cultivate within yourself. And the most profound discoveries about yourself often come through the mirror of your relationships. Embrace the reflection, and you will find a pathway to deeper self-understanding and a truer connection with those around you. Okay, here's Chapter 10 of Escape the Chaos, Master the Power of Now, focusing on finding inner peace amidst challenging times, written in simple English with relatable examples. I hope it resonates with you. Chapter 10, Finding Peace in Challenging Times. Life throws curveballs. It's inevitable. Stress, illness, loss, they're all part of the human experience. But how you react to these challenges is entirely within your control. That's where the power of now becomes your greatest ally. Think of your mind as a lake. When the wind whips across it, a stressful situation, the water becomes turbulent. You can't see clearly to the bottom. But when the wind dies down and the lake becomes still, the mud settles and you can see through the water with ease. The power of now is about finding that stillness within yourself, even when the storm rages. The trap of the future. During difficult times, our minds often race ahead. What if this? I can't handle. This will ruin. These thoughts, rooted in fear and anxiety, steal your peace and make the present moment seem unbearable. You're borrowing trouble from a future that hasn't even arrived. The burden of the past. Similarly, rehashing past events, if only I had done, why did this happen to me, keeps you trapped in regret and resentment. The past is history. You can learn from it, but you can't change it. The now is your refuge. The only place where you have any power is in the present moment. When faced with a challenge, consciously shift your focus to what is right now. Example, a job loss. Imagine you've just lost your job. Your mind is likely swarming with worries. How will I pay the bills? What will people think? I'm a failure. That's the storm. Instead, take a deep breath. Ground yourself in the present. Right now, you are here, reading this. Your heart is still beating. You're safe. Focus on your breathing. Feel your feet on the floor. Then, break the problem down. Right now, your task is not to solve all your financial problems. It's to acknowledge the situation and make a plan to start tomorrow with taking action towards a solution. Maybe you'll spend an hour updating your resume. Maybe you'll make a list of contacts to reach out to. But just focus on that small, present moment action. Acceptance is key. Challenging times often involve unpleasant circumstances. Resist the urge to fight reality. Accept what is, not because you like it, but because it is. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means dropping the resistance that drains your energy and allows you to move forward. Finding the gift. Even in the darkest times, there can be hidden opportunities for growth. Loss can lead to deeper compassion. Illness can bring a greater appreciation for life. Look for the silver linings, not to deny the pain, but to find strength and meaning. By anchoring yourself in the present moment through acceptance and mindful action, you can navigate even the most daunting challenges with greater peace and resilience. Remember, the storm will eventually pass, but the stillness within you remains. Chapter 11, The Power of Surrender. Friends, brothers, and sisters on this journey of awakening. How often do we find ourselves wrestling with life, trying to control every outcome, bending reality to our will? We grip tightly to our plans, our expectations, and when things don't go our way, frustration, anxiety, even anger take root. This, my friends, is resistance. And resistance, like a dam holding back a river, creates stagnation and suffering. But there's another way. It's a path of flow, of grace, of profound inner peace. It's the path of surrender. Surrender isn't about giving up. It's not about becoming passive, a doormat for life to walk all over. True surrender is the opposite of weakness. It's an active, intelligent choice to release the need to control that which is ultimately uncontrollable. Think about this. Can you control the weather? Can you truly control the actions of others? Can you guarantee the future will unfold precisely as you envision it? The answer? Deep down, you already know. Surrender is about accepting what is in this present moment without resistance. It's about recognizing that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, has a plan, a flow, that is often far grander, far more beautiful than anything we could possibly conceive. Consider a time when you desperately tried to fix a situation. You strategized, planned, worried endlessly. Yet, the more you struggled, the more entrenched the problem seemed to become. Now, think of a time when you let go, when you released your grip and simply allowed things to unfold. Perhaps a solution presented itself unexpectedly, or maybe the problem resolved itself in a way you never imagined. That, my friends, is the power of surrender at work. It's like a surfer riding a wave. They can't control the wave's shape, size, or speed. Trying to force the wave to be something it isn't will only lead to a wipeout. Instead, they surrender to the wave's energy, adjusting their position, their balance, to move with it. Surrender allows them to experience the thrill, the freedom, the exhilaration of the ride. Surrender isn't a one-time event. It's a continuous practice. It's learning to trust the unfolding of life, to trust the wisdom within, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. It's acknowledging that we are not in control, but we are definitely part of something much larger and more beautiful. How do we cultivate this power of surrender? By returning to the present moment. By noticing the resistance within us, the tension, the worry, the what-ifs, and consciously choosing to release them. By embracing acceptance, allowing ourselves to experience the fullness of life, even its challenges, without judgment. When we surrender, we find that the peace we've been seeking has been within us all along. It was obscured by our struggle. Surrender is the key that unlocks that peace and allows us to flow effortlessly with the current of life. Chapter 12, Ego, Death, and the True Self. Friends, fellow travelers on this journey of self-discovery. We come now to a concept that might sound a little intimidating: ego death. Don't worry, it's not about literally dying. It's about the idea of who you are, the ego, loosening its grip and revealing the true self beneath. Think of the ego as a character you've been playing your whole life. It's built on your name, your accomplishments, your possessions, your fears, and your past experiences. It's the voice in your head that says, I am successful, or I am a failure, I am loved, or I am not good enough. This character is helpful. It helps you to navigate the world, but it isn't you. Ego death is the realization that you are not this character. It's like waking up from a dream and realizing that all the drama, all the triumphs, all the heartaches were happening to someone else, someone you thought was you. Why is this important? Because the ego, in its attempt to protect and validate itself, creates limitations and suffering. It craves recognition, fears rejection, and constantly judges. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of wanting more, being better, and never truly being content in the now. Imagine you're driving a car. The ego is like obsessing over the navigation, constantly recalculating the route, checking fuel prices, and worrying about traffic. You're so consumed by all this, you forget to enjoy the ride, to appreciate the scenery. Ego death is stopping to worry about navigation and enjoying the present. Ego death isn't something you force or achieve. It's a gradual unfolding, a shedding of the skin of the false self. It happens as you consistently practice living in the now, observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, and recognizing that you are the observer, not the drama itself. When the ego's grip loosens, what remains? Your true self. This is the essence of who you are, the pure consciousness, the boundless potential. It's the part of you that is connected to everything, that is inherently whole and complete. This is you without any extra burden. All the fears are gone, all the worries are gone, and all the judgment is also gone. The experience can bring an immense sense of freedom, peace, and joy. The fear of death dissolves because you realize you are not limited to this body, this identity. Even a glimpse of this experience can be transformative. So let this journey continue. In the now, in self-discovery, the destination of limitless peace. Chapter 13. The now and your life purpose. Friends, seekers of truth, have you ever felt lost, adrift in a sea of shoulds and coulds, wondering, what is my purpose? The answer, my friends, isn't hidden in some distant future or buried in a forgotten past. It resides within the vibrant, pulsing heart of this moment. We often search for our purpose as if it were a destination to be reached, a career to be attained, or a grand achievement to be unlocked. We chase titles, possessions, and external validations, hoping they will somehow fill the void. But true purpose isn't something you find. It's something you unfold, layer by layer, as you live more fully in the now. When you're trapped in the relentless loop of thinking, worrying about the future, regretting the past, you're deaf to the quiet whispers of your intuition, your inner guidance system. It's like trying to hear a delicate melody amidst a roaring storm. The now is the stillness that allows those whispers to become clear. Consider this. A doctor focused on past failures or future anxieties might misdiagnose a patient. A parent lost in thought might miss the subtle cues of their child's distress. But when present, the doctor can observe keenly. The parent can connect deeply. Similarly, being present allows you to perceive opportunities aligned with your natural talents and passions. How do you discover this alignment? By paying attention. What ignites your passion? What makes you lose track of time? What problems do you instinctively want to solve? These are breadcrumbs along the path to your purpose. Perhaps you find joy in helping others. Maybe you are drawn to creativity or motivated to protect the environment. Your purpose isn't necessarily about becoming a famous artist or discovering a cure. It could be as simple as being a supportive friend, a caring neighbor, or bringing beauty into a world that desperately needs it. Living in the now allows you to respond authentically to the needs of the present moment, to use your unique gifts to make a difference, however small. And in those small acts of presence and contribution, you'll find a sense of fulfillment far greater than any external achievement could ever provide. This, my friends, is the essence of living with true purpose. It isn't a grand destination. It's the journey itself, walked consciously, one now at a time. Chapter 14, Creating a Mindful Future Without Losing the Now. Namaste, dear friends. Many of you have been diligently cultivating presence, anchoring yourselves in this moment. But a question often arises. If I focus solely on the now, when will I plan for the future? When will I achieve my goals? Good question. Living in the now isn't about abandoning all planning. It's about transforming how you plan. Think of it like this: planting a seed. The now is the fertile soil in which you plant the seed of your intention. The future is the flower you hope will bloom. The problem arises when we become obsessed with the flower, constantly digging up the seed to check on its progress. We worry, will it bloom? Is the soil right? Is it getting enough sunlight? These anxieties pull us away from the present, from nurturing the now, the very soil that supports our intention. Mindful future planning involves setting intentions without becoming slaves to outcomes. It's about taking conscious action now to move towards your desired future, but releasing the need to control every detail. It's the difference between driving towards a destination with a map and white-knuckling the steering wheel, terrified of making a wrong turn. For example, you want to buy a house. Instead of agonizing over interest rates and market fluctuations constantly, you take practical steps today. Research neighborhoods, save diligently, meet with a mortgage advisor. You are acting in the now to create the possibility of a future outcome. Then you let go. Trust the process. Trust the now to guide you to the right opportunity when it arises. Another key ingredient is flexibility. The future rarely unfolds exactly as planned. By staying present, you can adapt to changing circumstances with grace and wisdom. You notice the roadblocks and detours without becoming paralyzed by disappointment. You simply adjust your road, staying true to your underlying intention, but allowing the universe to guide your specific path. Therefore, mindful planning is about clarity of intention, conscious action in the present, and acceptance of the unforeseen. Don't let the future steal the joy of your now. Let the now be the fertile ground for a future filled with peace and purpose. That, my friends, is the true power of living in the moment. Chapter 15, Living the Awakened Life. Beyond the book, friends, our journey together through these pages has been about more than just reading words. It's been about awakening. It's about remembering the simple, profound truth that all we truly have is now. Now that you've grasped the fundamental concepts, what comes next? How do we ensure this understanding doesn't just fade back into the background noise of daily life? Living an awakened life isn't a destination. It's a continuous journey. It's about consistently choosing awareness, moment by moment. Think of it like learning to ride a bicycle. You don't become a skilled cyclist after reading a book, do you? You need to practice, sometimes fall, and keep getting back on. This book has provided you with tools, understanding the mind's patterns, connecting with your body, accepting the present, and understanding the ego. Now, it's time to wield these tools actively in your everyday life. Perhaps you start by setting aside just 5 minutes each day for mindful breathing. Use your breath as an anchor, gently guiding your attention back to the present whenever your mind wanders. Or maybe you choose one daily activity, washing dishes, commuting to work, as an opportunity to practice full awareness. Feel the water, see the sights, hear the sounds, without judgment. There will be days when the now feels distant, shrouded by stress and anxiety. Don't despair. These are opportunities to practice even more diligently. Remember that acceptance isn't passive. It's an active choice to embrace the reality of this moment, even if it's uncomfortable. Seek out communities of like-minded individuals. Talk with others who are also walking this path. Sharing your experiences, challenges, and insights can be incredibly supportive and reinforcing. Don't hesitate to look back to reread chapters that deeply resonated with you. Like watering a plant, revisiting these teachings will help them grow stronger roots within you. Your awakened life will evolve. It's a dance between understanding and experiencing, between self-reflection and action. By choosing the now consistently, you are not just changing your life, you are, in your unique way, adding love and peace to the world.